Deep within the hardened bunkers of Earth's underground monitoring station, a red light began to flash. The night shift operators looked at each other with concerned expressions as their quantum receivers picked up an encrypted transmission from deep space. Something big was happening. "Sir, you need to see this." The young operator's hands trembled as he handed the decoded message to Station Chief Parker. The grizzled veteran's face grew pale as he read the transmission, his coffee cup forgotten on the desk. The message was clear. Earth had been marked for containment. High above Earth's atmosphere, aboard the International Space Station Beta, Admiral Thompson stared at the same message on his tablet. His weathered face reflected in the reinforced windows as he looked down at the blue marble below. 20 years of preparing for this moment, and still it felt surreal. The Galactic Council's transmission was being broadcast across all known frequencies, not even trying to hide their intentions anymore. High Counselor Adams, speaking in his usual condescending tone, declared Earth a primitive threat to galactic stability. The rapid technological advancement of the Earth species poses an unprecedented threat to galactic peace, Adams's holographic figure announced to the council chambers. Their warlike nature, combined with their exponential growth in quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and weapons technology, cannot be allowed to continue unchecked. Within hours, emergency meetings were called in every major capital on Earth. In the United Nations emergency session, world leaders gathered virtually and in person to address the crisis. The main chamber was packed with representatives from every nation, all previous conflicts forgotten in the face of this external threat. Admiral Thompson stood at the podium, his military uniform crisp and neat despite the late hour. Behind him, massive screens displayed the evidence his teams had gathered over the past decades. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice steady and firm, "what I'm about to share will shock you, but it's crucial you understand the full scope of our situation." He clicked to the first slide, showing surveillance footage dating back 50 years. "We've been watched, studied, and judged by the Galactic Council for centuries. But they made one critical mistake. They underestimated our ability to detect them." Gasps filled the chamber as he revealed image after image of cloaked alien vessels, hidden observation posts, and intercepted communications. The Earth Defense Force, a secret international military organization, had been preparing for this day since they first detected alien signals in the 1970s. "The Council sees us as primitives playing with technology we don't understand," Thompson continued. "They expect us to bow down, to surrender our sovereignty. But what they don't realize is that we've been reverse engineering their tech for decades. Every probe they sent, every scout ship that got too close, we learned from them all." In the Pentagon's war room, General Mitchell reviewed the defense readiness reports. Earth's hidden fleet of advanced spacecraft, constructed in secret facilities beneath the lunar surface, stood ready. Quantum-linked AI defense systems, far more sophisticated than anything the Council suspected Earth capable of, hummed quietly in their hardened bunkers. The Council's declaration had triggered automated defense protocols worldwide. Military bases around the globe went into high alert. Civilian defense drills, disguised as natural disaster preparations over the years, smoothly transitioned into real emergency protocols. As the sun set over each time zone, citizens looked up at the sky with new understanding. The strange lights they'd occasionally glimpsed weren't imagination. They were alien vessels, watching, waiting. But humanity hadn't been idle during those watching years. In his office at the UN, Ambassador Wilson prepared for humanity's response to the Council. The words he would speak would echo across the galaxy. Earth would not submit. Earth would not bow. Earth would not surrender its right to progress and grow. The first shots hadn't been fired yet, but war was coming. Humanity faced its greatest challenge and its greatest opportunity. The Galactic Council thought they were dealing with primitive savages who would quickly submit to their superior might. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The massive Council diplomatic vessel appeared suddenly in Earth's orbit, its silver hull gleaming in the sunlight. At twice the size of the largest human aircraft carrier, it was clearly meant to intimidate. Military satellites tracked its approach, while Earth's hidden defense systems remained powered but invisible. In New York, the United Nations building buzzed with activity. Ambassador Wilson stood at his office window, straightening his tie. The Council had demanded an immediate meeting with Earth's leaders. As humanity's chosen spokesperson, the weight of history rested on his shoulders. "Remember," Admiral Thompson said, standing beside him, "we negotiate from strength, not weakness. Our fleet is ready." He handed Wilson a small device. "Keep this quantum communicator with you. If things go wrong, press the red button." The Council's landing site was Central Park. They had ignored the suggested military landing zones, making their arrogance clear. A massive crowd gathered behind police barriers, watching as the alien shuttle descended through the clouds. 3 Council representatives emerged from their craft. Their tall, humanoid forms wore elaborate robes covered in glowing symbols of rank. The lead representative, who called himself High Speaker, walked forward with the artificial grace of someone used to being obeyed. "We come with terms for Earth's protection," the High Speaker announced, his translation device making his words sound flat and emotionless. "Your species has advanced too quickly. It poses a risk to galactic stability." Ambassador Wilson maintained his diplomatic smile. "We appreciate your concern, but Earth is capable of managing its own development. We seek peaceful relations as equals, not submission." The High Speaker's expression hardened. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation." He activated a holographic display showing thousands of Council warships. "These vessels await our signal. Earth will submit to technological restrictions or face containment by force." The crowd behind the barriers grew restless. News cameras broadcast the exchange worldwide. In military bases across the globe, forces went to high alert. "Let me be clear about your demands," Wilson said, his voice steady. "You want us to destroy our advanced technology, limit our future development, and accept Council oversight of our civilization." "Correct. We will install governors to ensure compliance. Your military capabilities will be reduced to pre-nuclear levels. This is for your own protection." Wilson shared a look with Admiral Thompson. They had expected this, but hearing it stated so boldly made their blood boil. "And if we refuse?" The High Speaker gestured, and the hologram changed to show planets being blockaded. "Those who resist face isolation. No trade, no space travel, no communication with other worlds. If necessary, we will use force to ensure compliance." Wilson took a deep breath. The next words would change human history forever. "Humanity has a response to your demands." He pulled out an old piece of paper, one that had been prepared decades ago for this very moment. "We, the United Nations of Earth, reject any attempt to limit human development or sovereignty. We will not surrender our right to grow, to explore, or to defend ourselves. If forced to choose between submission and conflict, we choose to fight." The High Speaker's face showed genuine surprise, then amusement. "You would dare to challenge the Council? Your primitive weapons would be useless against our technology." Wilson smiled. "About that. Admiral, would you care to demonstrate?" Admiral Thompson pressed a button on his wrist device. Suddenly, the air shimmered as dozens of advanced human warships cloaked around the Council's diplomatic vessel. More ships emerged from hidden lunar bases, their designs clearly incorporating reversed-engineered alien technology. The High Speaker's amusement vanished. "Impossible. Your species cannot have reached this level of technology." Wilson finished for him. "Cannot have prepared for this day. Cannot have spent decades studying your ships, your signals, your weaknesses." He stepped closer to the alien diplomat. "Here is our counteroffer. Leave Earth's space, recognize our sovereignty, or discover exactly how primitive we are." The Council representatives retreated to their shuttle, their dignified facade cracking. As they lifted off, Wilson watched them go, knowing that the real battle was just beginning. Humanity had chosen war over submission. Now they would show the galaxy why that was a mistake their enemies would never forget. The Council's attack began at dawn. 500 warships jumped into the solar system, their weapons already charged. They expected a quick victory over a primitive planet. They were wrong. Admiral Thompson stood in Earth's hidden command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Massive screens showed the approaching Council fleet, their formation tight and disciplined. Too disciplined, too predictable. They're following standard Council military doctrine, Thompson said to his commanders. Just like our intelligence suggested. Launch operation, shattered glass. Across the solar system, humanity's true power was revealed. The asteroid belt came alive as hidden weapon platforms activated. What the Council thought were simple mining operations turned out to be military bases. Small, fast human ships emerged from their hiding spots. Council fleet entering Mars orbit, reported the tactical officer. They're launching their first wave. Thompson nodded. Execute defense pattern Alpha. Show them what Project Guardian can do. The Council ships fired their first shots, expecting to easily overwhelm Earth's defenses. Instead, their energy weapons hit an invisible barrier. Project Guardian, Earth's quantum shield technology, absorbed the attacks like water. Return fire, Thompson ordered. All units, engage according to plan. Human ships struck from multiple directions, using the tactics that had made Earth's military so feared throughout history, while Council ships relied on advanced technology and overwhelming force. Human vessels darted in and out like wolves attacking a larger prey. In space near Mars, Commander Reed led the first major counterattack. His ships used the planet's gravity to slingshot into perfect firing positions. All ships, fire pattern Delta, he commanded. Just like we practiced. The Council fleet's neat formation broke apart as human weapons found their targets. Their shields, designed to stop energy weapons, proved less effective against Earth's kinetic weapons, railguns firing at near-light speed. Direct hit on their command ship, Reed reported. Their formation is breaking. The Council commanders had expected to face primitive rockets and nuclear weapons. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy who had studied their every weakness for decades. Human AI systems predicted their standard tactics before they made them. Every Council strategy was met with a perfect counter. On Earth's moon, hidden missile silos opened. But instead of simple rockets, they launched swarms of autonomous combat drones. These machines, smaller than Council sensors, were designed to track, slipped through their defense screens. Guardian shields holding at 82%, reported Defense Control. Council weapons are becoming less effective as our systems adapt to their patterns. Thompson watched as the battle unfolded exactly as their simulations had predicted. The Council's biggest weakness was their arrogance. They hadn't bothered to update their tactics in centuries. Why should they? No primitive species had ever challenged them before. Sir, Council fleet is regrouping, Tactical announced. They're falling back to their secondary positions. They're calling for reinforcements, Intelligence added. Intercepted communications suggest they're in shock, sir. They didn't expect this level of resistance. Thompson allowed himself a small smile. Launch Phase 2. Let's show them what else we've been hiding. From Earth's oceans, massive submarines that were actually spacecraft rose to the surface. From hidden mountain bases, more ships joined the fight. Every primitive satellite turned out to be a weapons platform in disguise. The Council's first strike, meant to subdue Earth in hours, had turned into a devastating defeat. Their neat formations were in chaos, their ships retreating, their commanders desperately trying to understand how they had been so wrong. As the Council fleet withdrew to regroup, Thompson sent a message to all Earth forces. Phase 1 complete. Prepare for their return. They'll be back with a larger force, but now they know. Earth isn't their easy target. We are humanity, and we will not go quietly. The first battle was over. Earth had survived its trial by fire, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. The real war was about to begin. and humanity was ready to take the fight to the stars. The following week showed the galaxy why Earth's history of constant warfare had created the most dangerous warriors in known space. While the Council regrouped, humanity launched their own offensive operations. Commander Roberts stood on the bridge of his stealth ship, hidden in the debris field of what used to be a Council patrol fleet. His crew moved with quiet efficiency, preparing for their next strike. They had learned that Council ships couldn't track vessels hiding in the radiation wake of their own destroyed vessels. "Status report," Roberts called out. "5 Council supply convoys approaching, sir," his tactical officer responded. "They still haven't changed their regular supply routes." Overconfidence at its finest. Roberts smiled. The Council's rigid thinking was their greatest weakness. They kept using the same patrol routes, the same supply lines, the same tactics. They couldn't imagine that a primitive species could exploit such patterns. "All ships, execute Operation Thunderstrike," Roberts ordered. Across the asteroid belt, 30 human vessels powered up. They had been waiting in silence, wrapped in stealth technology reversed engineered from studied Council debris. Each ship carried a crew trained in Earth's ancient naval warfare tactics, adapted for space. The Council's supply ships never saw the attack coming. Human vessels struck from multiple angles, using the asteroids as cover. Their quantum computers calculated perfect firing solutions faster than Council shields could adapt. Meanwhile, at Earth Defense Headquarters, Dr. Miller worked with her team of scientists, analyzing data from each battle. Their quantum AI systems learned and adapted with each engagement, growing stronger and smarter. "Look at this," she pointed to a holographic display. "Their shield frequencies follow a predictable pattern. Our AI can now predict and counter them before they even shift." Admiral Thompson watched the technical readouts with satisfaction. "How long until the new weapons are ready?" "The gravity disruptors will be online within hours," Miller replied. "We're installing them on all frontline ships. The Council won't expect us to have mastered gravity manipulation so quickly." Across the solar system, humanity's true military might was revealed. Hidden shipyards around Jupiter's moons produced new vessels daily. Weapons platforms disguised as research stations activated their true purpose. Every piece of civilian space infrastructure turned out to have military applications. The Council's intelligence services were in chaos. Their reports to the High Council showed growing panic. Human ships appearing from impossible locations. Their weapons adapt faster than our defenses. They're using tactics we've never seen. Every defeat teaches them, makes them stronger. In the Kuiper Belt, Commander Roberts led another successful raid. His ship struck a Council patrol group, disabled their engines with precise hits, and disappeared before reinforcements arrived. The Council forces found only empty space and their own crippled vessels. Confirmed kills on 3 heavy cruisers, Roberts reported back to Earth. "No casualties on our side. Their targeting systems still can't track our new stealth tech." Dr. Miller's team had more breakthroughs. They cracked the Council's quantum communication codes, giving Earth's forces advance warning of every move. The Council's reliance on technology they hadn't updated in centuries became their greatest vulnerability. "They thought we were primitive because we still train for combat without computers," Thompson told his commanders. "They never understood that this makes us more adaptable, more creative." Earth's forces practiced fighting with and without advanced technology. When Council cyber attacks disabled their computers, human crews switched to manual controls without missing a beat. When Council ships jammed their communications, humans fell back on pre-planned strategies and visual signals. The Council had expected to find a primitive species playing with technology they didn't understand. Instead, they found an enemy who had spent centuries perfecting the art of war, who had learned to combine advanced technology with ancient military wisdom. As reports of human victories spread across Council space, other species began to watch with growing interest. The unbeatable Galactic Council had finally met its match in the species they had dismissed as primitives. The war was far from over, but one thing was becoming clear. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. They were fighting to show the galaxy that technological superiority meant nothing without the will and wisdom to use it properly. 3 months into the war, Earth launched its boldest move yet. Operation Thunderbolt would take the fight directly into Council space. Dr. Miller's breakthrough in faster-than-light travel had changed everything. The Council thinks they have us trapped in our solar system. Admiral Thompson addressed the gathered fleet commanders. They don't know about our new FTL drives. Today, we prove we can hit them anywhere. The combined Earth fleet gathered behind Jupiter's shadow. 500 warships, each equipped with Miller's new FTL technology. Unlike the Council's predictable jump drives, Earth's ships could appear anywhere without using fixed jump points. All ships report ready, Commander Roberts announced from his flagship. Strike groups are in position. Thompson stood at the command center, watching the largest fleet humanity had ever assembled. Begin Operation Thunderbolt. Show them what happens when you corner humanity. The Earth fleet vanished in flashes of light. They reappeared deep in Council space, bypassing all their defensive lines. The Council had fortified the routes they thought ships had to use. They never imagined humans would find another way to travel. The first target was the Council's largest shipyard. The facility's defenders barely had time to raise shields before human ships struck from multiple directions. Earth's gravity disruptors tore through their defenses like paper. Primary targets neutralized, Roberts reported. Council reinforcements are 8 minutes out. They're still using their regular jump points. Thompson smiled. Exactly as planned. All ships, execute pattern Echo. Earth's fleet split into smaller groups, each attacking different Council facilities. The Council's response was slow and confused. They had never faced an enemy that could appear anywhere without warning. On one Council world, the orbital defense stations turned their weapons toward space, expecting attack from above. Instead, human ships burst from the atmosphere below. Commander Roberts had hidden his vessels underwater on the planet's ocean, another tactic the Council had never considered. Council military command is in chaos, intelligence reported. Their automated defense systems can't adapt to our attack patterns. They're trying to defend everything at once. Dr. Miller watched from Earth as her new FTL drives performed perfectly. Their sensors still can't track our ships during jumps, she reported. We're completely invisible during transit. The Council's mighty space fleet, spread thin trying to blockade Earth, now found itself defending against attacks everywhere at once. Their commanders had never faced an enemy that didn't follow the ancient rules of space warfare. Status report, Thompson called out. 17 Council shipyards destroyed. 23 defense stations neutralized. Their entire supply chain is in chaos, Tactical responded. Best of all, minimal civilian casualties. Our precision strikes hit only military targets. This was another thing that confused the Council. Humans could have bombed their civilian centers, but chose not to. They fought with a code of honor the Council had forgotten centuries ago. On the Council's capital world, alarms blared as Earth ships appeared in orbit. But instead of attacking, they'd broadcast a message to every communication channel. We could strike at your heart, but we choose not to. Unlike you, we don't target civilians. End this war. Recognize Earth's sovereignty. Or next time, we might not be so merciful. The human fleet vanished before the Council's home fleet could respond. They left behind a defeated defense fleet and a shattered sense of Council superiority. Back on Earth, Thompson addressed his commanders. Phase 1 of Thunderbolt is complete. We've shown them they can't hide behind their borders. Now we wait for their response. The Council had started this war thinking they faced primitives. Now they faced an enemy who could strike anywhere, who fought with both power and restraint, who combined ancient military wisdom with technology that matched or exceeded their own. As reports of the raid spread across Council space, more voices began calling for peace. The species they had dismissed as savages had proven to be warriors of unprecedented skill, and more civilized than their would-be conquerors. The tide of war had turned. Now the Council had to decide: continue a losing war, or accept that humanity had earned its place among the stars. The Council's main chamber erupted into chaos. For the first time in 10,000 years, member species openly challenged the leadership. Operation Thunderbolt had done more than destroy military targets. It had shattered the Council's image of invincibility. General Anderson watched the Council's emergency session through Earth's quantum spy network. After leading the military campaign, he now headed Earth's diplomatic efforts. The angry shouts and accusations flying across the Council chamber made him smile. "The Council leadership has failed us," shouted the representative of a rim world. "They started a war we cannot win, against a species they called primitive." High Counselor Adams struggled to maintain order. "The human threat must be contained." "Contained," another representative interrupted. "Like they contained our defense fleets, our shipyards. They could have bombed our civilian centers, but chose not to. Who are the real primitives here?" In Earth's diplomatic center, Ambassador Wilson worked with General Anderson to exploit these divisions. They sent proof of Earth's humanitarian warfare to Council species who had long suffered under the leadership's arrogant rule. "Look at these reports," Anderson told his team. 3 more systems have declared themselves neutral in the conflict. The Council's grip is weakening. Their quantum communications picked up another Council session. A group of younger species demanded answers. "Why were we never told about Earth's true capabilities?" one asked. "Why did our intelligence fail so completely?" The answer was simple but devastating. Council leadership had grown too proud, too set in their ways. They had dismissed human achievements because accepting them would mean admitting their own system was flawed. On a distant Council world, public protests broke out. The people had learned how Earth spared civilian targets even while destroying military installations. Signs appeared asking, "Are these the actions of primitives?" "Sir," an aide rushed into Anderson's office. 3 more Council species are requesting secret talks with Earth. They're considering breaking away from the Council. Anderson nodded. This was the moment they had waited for. "Tell them we're willing to discuss mutual defense agreements. Show them our proof of Council corruption." Earth's intelligence services released documents showing how Council leadership had suppressed technological advancement in younger species, how they had used their power to maintain control rather than help developing civilizations. Back in the Council chamber, the rebellion grew stronger. 1/3 of the members now openly opposed the war. Earth's broadcast of Council ships firing on civilian vessels trying to trade with Earth caused more outrage. "They call humans primitive," one representative shouted, "but humans follow rules of war that we abandoned centuries ago. They show mercy where we would show none." High Counselor Adams made a final attempt to rally support. "If we show weakness now, other species will rebel." "They already are rebelling," came the reply. "Not because of human weapons, but because humans proved the Council lied. They proved we can resist." General Anderson received urgent news. 6 Council warfleets had defected, refusing orders to attack Earth. Their commanders had seen enough to know they were on the wrong side of history. Ambassador Wilson addressed the UN with the latest updates. "The Council's political structure is collapsing. Their lies and manipulation are being exposed. But we must be careful. Wounded predators are the most dangerous." He was right. The Council leadership, desperate to maintain control, ordered a final, massive assault on Earth. But their orders were met with refusal after refusal. Their own fleet commanders no longer trusted them. "The Council is losing control," Anderson told Earth's leadership. "Now comes the dangerous part, making sure what replaces it is better." Earth's message spread across Council space. They fought not to destroy the Council, but to reform it. To create a galaxy where all species could develop without fear, where advancement was encouraged, not suppressed. As the day ended, Anderson looked at the latest reports. Half the Council worlds now called for leadership change. The war had become a revolution, not just for Earth, but for every species that had suffered under Council control. The final battle wouldn't be fought with ships and weapons, but with truth and justice. And in that battle, Earth was already winning. 1 year after the Council first threatened Earth, the galaxy gathered to witness something unprecedented. The Great Council Chamber, once a symbol of oppression, now hosted representatives from every spacefaring species, including humans, as equals. Admiral Thompson and Ambassador Wilson stood proudly as the Earth delegation entered the chamber. The same room where the Council had once declared humans primitive now fell silent in respect. General Anderson, leading the security detail, noted how many alien species nodded in appreciation as humans passed. The old council is dissolved, proclaimed the interim leader, chosen jointly by all species. Today we forge a new alliance, one built on respect rather than fear. High Counselor Adams and his supporters sat in shame, stripped of their ranks. Their final desperate attack on Earth had failed spectacularly when 3/4 of their own fleet refused to fire on civilian targets. That day marked the end of their power. Let the record show, Ambassador Wilson addressed the gathering, that Earth does not seek revenge. We seek partnership. The old council's mistake was fearing difference. We celebrate it. The new Galactic Charter took shape with Earth playing a key role in its creation. Every species would have the right to develop their own technology. The strong would help the weak. Knowledge would be shared, not hoarded. Dr. Miller presented Earth's technological achievements to amazed alien scientists. We offer these advances freely, she announced. Our FTL drive designs, our quantum shields, let them benefit all species. The alien scientists could hardly believe it. The Council had always kept advanced technology for themselves. Here were the primitives sharing knowledge that even the Council hadn't mastered. Commander Roberts, now heading the new Joint Defense Force, worked with alien military leaders. They studied Earth's combat tactics, amazed by the combination of high technology and strategic thinking. Your species fought with honor, a former Council commander told him. You could have destroyed our worlds. Instead, you protected our civilians while targeting military assets. This is why you earned our respect. In the Chamber Center, the new Galactic Alliance Charter was signed. Its first articles, written in all languages, declared, "No species shall be judged primitive or advanced based on their technology level alone. The measure of civilization is how it treats others. Knowledge shall be shared. The strong shall protect the weak. All have the right to grow and develop without interference." Admiral Thompson watched with pride as Earth's influence spread. Former Council worlds adopted human ideas about justice and fair play. The concept of honorable warfare, long forgotten in Council space, returned. "Look how far we've come," Wilson said to Thompson. "They wanted to contain us. Instead, we taught them a better way." The galaxy was changing. Trade routes opened between formerly restricted worlds. Species the Council had kept apart began sharing culture and knowledge. Earth became a symbol of resistance and hope. "We thought humans were savages," an alien diplomat admitted to General Anderson. "We were wrong. You showed us that true civilization isn't about having the most advanced technology. It's about how you use what you have." Back on Earth, celebrations erupted worldwide. Humans had not only survived, but had changed the galaxy for the better. Ships from hundreds of worlds filled Earth's skies, not as invaders but as guests and allies. The final ceremony saw Earth formally joining the new Galactic Alliance as a founding member. Ambassador Wilson signed the charter, while Admiral Thompson and General Anderson stood witness. Dr. Miller's team already began working with alien scientists on new discoveries. "Let this be remembered," Wilson declared to the gathered species, "not as the day humanity won a war, but as the day the galaxy chose a better path." Together, the chamber erupted in applause. The species that the Council had dismissed as primitive had become the architects of a new galactic age. An age of cooperation instead of control, of growth instead of restriction, of hope instead of fear. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger. They had fought not just for their own survival, but for the freedom of all species. In doing so, they had proven that true strength lies not in technology alone, but in wisdom, honor, and the courage to use power justly. The stars, once filled with threat and danger, now promised adventure and discovery. Humanity had earned its place among them, not through submission, but by standing firm and showing a better way.